Ladies and gentlemen, get ready for combos.
Let's see how long the opponent lets us do cool things.
Triggers. What is happening? Commanders.
In my opinion, the most broken deck you're gonna see. Monkeys.
This is Historic Brawl.
Hello and welcome back to another day in the arena. What's up, Mesa Falcons? It's me, it's CGB. I'm over here. Over here. No, not over there. Over here. And why? So I can show you the gem price of the Champion Deck Brawl Ulalek Fused Attrocity. Yes, today we are covering the Champion deck that is in the store. Now, I will start off with a disclaimer. The store does reduce the gem price of your deck based on your collection. If you already own cards that are in this deck, they are going to try not to double charge you for those cards, which is why you see my gem price is probably different from yours. What their algorithm still misses is that not all the versions, it doesn't check your collection for every version of the card that matches the versions in this deck. So while I am still, if I wanted to buy this right now in the store, if I want to spend 2,090 gems, I could get this in the store, but let me show you. I have the deck right here, the whole thing. And now I'll move myself over to where I make everybody more comfortable. But I have the whole thing. There's no missing cards. There's no craft all button here. So it just didn't check my collection for different versions of some of the cards. So don't waste gems. Okay, don't go to the store and waste gems if you might already have the cards. Use the link in the description for the original Ulalek deck and download it from Moxfield, thank you sponsor, and then copy paste it into Arena to see what cards you're actually missing, and then you can decide whether to use wild cards to complete it, or you might already have it before you go spend and possibly burn gems in the store that you don't have to. Now, if you are missing a ton of cards and you decide you want to go spend the gem price, that makes sense, but I have to open all of these review videos for these champion decks with that disclaimer to try to save you guys a couple of gems. So Ulalek the Fused Attrocity out of the box is a 5-color Eldrazi deck with a commander that lets you double the triggers and copy Eldrazi spells and triggers. Ulalek is a crazy powerful commander, and this particular build really has emphasized both having a good 5-color mana base, which I appreciate. There are some number of fetch lands in here. The deck is basically Teamer. It doesn't have any white or black spells. It has red, blue, and green spells, but it does emphasize getting the other colors to help you cast your commander, and it has a lot of good lands. This is a great deck to buy to start your fetch land collection, to get yourself your command tower and some pain lands and some shock lands. It's got shock lands in here, but it does tend to have some faults. The deck, it has a ton of Eldrazi, and we can see here in the stats we have 30 Eldrazi's in the deck. 30 is a lot of Eldrazi. They're known for being huge, but this deck also plays a lot of mid-range Eldrazi. You can also see the curve, 18 cards that cost 6 or more mana. Now, some of them are modal, like Null Drifter. You can evoke for 3 mana, draw some cards. Yeah, pretty good. Some of them you can play as lands, like Drowner of Truth. They have other utility. Some of them get cheaper as the game goes, like Emrakul the Promised End. Some of them have Emerge, like Aragast, Erupting Nullkite. But overall, this is a very high curve. But on top of that, a lot of the cards in the mid-range of the deck don't make mana. And you'll see how that plays out in practice. What we're going to do today is I'm going to show you a few games that I played with the deck unchanged to highlight some of the opportunities that the deck has to improve. And I thought were pretty interesting games. And then we're going to add some cards to the deck and take some cards out. At the middle of the video, I'm going to show you the changes I would take to make this deck better. And you might want to look at the changes before you even buy the deck, because many of the cards that you might have to craft to get this deck in the store might also be cards I would later take out. So I might be able to save you some wild cards that way as well. So that's the plan, guys. We're going to play a few games, see how the deck functions, then we're going to swap out some cards, and we're going to see if I can improve it by maybe driving it in a very dedicated direction, as opposed to being half mid-range Eldrazi Panharmonicon and half, oh my god, it's Kozilek. We'll see. But thank you to the sponsors of today's video. We're going to give a quick shout out to one of them, but the eternal sponsors of my channel will say, the ones who are there for me day in and day out, Cool Stuff Inc., Dragon Shield, Moxfield. Remember to support them. Thank you very much to them. And as always, No, I'm just going to say we're going to dive in and let the nonsense begin, because we're going to have a mid-roll deck tech change. Maybe I'll tell you you're cool then. But if you like these reviews of the decks in the store and how to upgrade them and make them better, remember to like and comment on this video. It really helps and encourages me to make more of these. We already made one for Bristly Bill. That deck is awesome. I highly recommend it. If you're going to get a brawl deck just to get into the format, that might be the best one. This one comes with more challenges, so I think I have more value to add as this video goes on. So let's dive in, my friends. Let the Ulalek nonsense begin. What's up, guys? I have a new partnership with Dragon Shield. They have sponsored my channel and all of my videos for this year, 2025. And all that they ask is that you go to the link in the description and use the code CGB5 at checkout to get a discount on all of your sleeves and accessories from Dragon Shield. Thank you to Dragon Shield for sponsoring this video. And remember to use that link in the description and the promo code CGB5. Now back to the video. Bag of Hammers the Brilliant with Eruth. Tormented Prophet. That's a combo deck. That is a pop-off combo deck. And you know what we don't do well against? Pop-off combo decks. But I've got the Devourer of Destiny in my opening hand. We are on the play. Glaring Fleshraker is one of the better cards in the deck for absolutely piling up damage. This Idol is a very slow card, but it's interesting because it says when an Eldrazi dies, so the spawns count. So maybe we could actually turn this into a creature with Annihilator at a decent pace using the Fleshraker. And I really want to use the Devourer of Destiny trigger, because what if we hit the Labyrinth? What if we hit Ugin's Labyrinth? Is that in this deck? I think it's in this deck. Ah, it is! I'm the best at magic. Oh, rigged. Oh, it's so rigged. All right, so exile Devourer of Destiny. I think we could also exile Aragast, but I think that I'll actually be able to emerge this card pretty soon. And then we can just drop this Fleshraker on turn 2 on the play. Oh, we're gonna deal damage. Oh yeah, that's what's gonna happen. Don't kill it. Thank you. Okay, Mind Stone. I mean, they're a combo deck, right? They can't kill us. Okay, we gotta cast the Lantern before we can cast the Explorer. But we only have one land. I think what we want to do is go for the Idol. So here's what you do. You play the Idol, you trigger the Fleshraker, you make the 1/1, you deal 1 damage. Then you play this. Of course, we name Eldrazi. And you play the Lantern, sacking the spawn, making another spawn, dealing the damage, growing the Idol. We're trying to get the Idol to 8, turn it into an Annihilator. Then we can still explore. And if we hit land, we're really good at this game. Oh, yeah. Geez, what do I name? I'll name Eldrazi. Smash. Out of the box busted. That's what this is. Okay. Okay. Chandra. Good card. 4 damage. Up to 3 on the Idol. Cozy. I don't have a way to progress mana here. I just have to drop my big old Devoid creature. Ulalek Fused Attrocity. Your role might well be getting sacked to Aragast, but let's see what the opponent does. They have a lot of mana now because of Chandra. Stormkiln Artist. They're setting up. They're looking for a big storm turn. Here's a Luth. So a Luth is, if you would draw a card, exile the top 2 cards of your library instead. You may play those this turn and can block. So if I bounce this, that's 1, 2, 3, 4. This doesn't tap for mana. I can just make a spawn. Ugh. Okay, we are a little frozen. I think we have to Aragast. I think we have to. Oh God, discarding these is so bad. The other option, make a spawn. Next turn we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Still doesn't cast these. God, I do not want to devoid this, but I think I have to. Oh my God. Okay, we emerge. My commander. First job my commander does is go in the bin. But I think it's right. Goodbye, hand. 3 cards. Of course, they're all like lands and crap. I guess I'll name Eldrazi. So what's this do? Target creature deals damage equal to its power to target creature or planeswalker and 3 life. Okay. So, do I get rid of Iluth and make it get cast again? Like, which of these pieces is the most important? I know you guys want it to be Chandra. I don't think it's Chandra. I think it's the Stormkiln Artist. I think Stormkiln Artist giving you that mana rebate, that's how we lose. That's how we lose. All right, pass. And then we'll spawn up with the idol. The opponent exiles 2 cards. They've got, when you cast an instant sorcery, you may draw. Ooh. And then Rile, which is 1 damage to a thing and draw. Man, we had the most busted start, dude. And I don't think it's going to matter. Chandra Torch of Defiance completely flipped the game. I think the real story of this opening is how mediocre Idol of the False Gods really is. It looks so good. But then in practice, I have a feeling that what we're going to see is it's just not good. Yeah, look at the opponent getting access to all these cards. If they were making mana as they went, I bet they could draw their deck this turn. And so here comes Pyro. That's good for us. The reason seeing the Pyro is good is because they're focusing on board presence, not continuing to combo off. Merfolk Looter, sure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'll have 7 mana next turn. I might want to return the Devourer instead. I think that's right. I think that's more right than using the idol to make a Scion. Let's think about that for a second. Okay, if I make a Scion, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, sacking the Scion, and I can bounce the Devourer. Okay, it's right. We can do this. Land off the top is not what we needed at all. Do I have time to play an Ulalek? First, let's see if we can kill this Chandra. When you cast this, you may exile your hand. Each creature you cast has emerge. All right, give me the Devourer. Cast me the Devourer. I can emerge it. That doesn't do me that much good though, right? I don't think so. I want to use this to emerge the Ulalek next turn. All right, do we get rid of Iluth and make the opponent recast it? Or do we get rid of the Chandra? I think we have to get rid of the Chandra. The mana advantage is so good. Although maybe they can't defend Chandra next turn. And it's 5 mana to recast Iluth. Okay, we go for Iluth. This is up to 5. We are getting there. The idol might still make it. These are too big for Chandra to kill. And minusing Chandra means they die. Like Chandra dies anyway. That would be nice. But yeah, it's going to be mana all the way. Maybe we can attack her to death next. Ah, another flyer. No. Instant and sorceries cost 1 less. Can kind of feel them getting torn on bringing out the commander. But here we go. It's only 1 mana open. No attacks. All right, another land. That's so bad. That's so bad. Whenever an Eldrazi dies, put a counter on it. As long as it has 8 or more counters. We're very close. We can emerge. Man, I just need, like, I need to draw any spell. Attack Chandra. Wait, what? They let Chandra go to keep the Mocking Sprite. Sure feels like they're setting up for the win now, doesn't it? Cast with Emerge. The reason we do it is to try to level up the idol faster. I don't think it's worth. Don't think it's worth it. You get Niv Mizzet and Scorching Dragonfire. Awesome. Niv freaking Mizzet, huh? Dude, I'm gambling with this play that we're going to draw an Eldrazi. But we have to, right? It's the Eldrazi deck. Surely there's an Eldrazi. Wow. It's a lot of cards you just exiled. It's a lot of cards. Let me just pass some priority here. Okay, they slam Niv. They only have colorless mana left. We draw land? Oh my god. Come on, deck. What are you doing? I mean, there's an Eldrazi. That would have been nice. We'll keep it. Activate. Hold back. We needed them to whiff. They did not whiff. This game is over. This game is absolutely over. Dude, the flood. We ended up never missing a land drop out. Remember when we cast Explorer and didn't have a land in hand? We drew almost all lands from that point. We never missed a land drop from there. We drew a horrific Assault and that's it. What a horrific flood. It felt like we just had this with a good draw. At this point, they're not going to win. You can see what they have over here. They're going to win with Thassa's Oracle eventually. We don't need to make them play it out. God. Maybe the deck has a lot of land. I don't know. Nethroi, Apex of Death. This is a Abzan Reanimator Graveyard combo deck, typically. It can also be a Mutate deck, but normally it's played as a combo deck. This is a very slow hand. It does have Thief of Existence, which is a pretty good card. This is, but it's just so slow. I think we need to at least mulligan for turn 2 ramp. We do not get it. But we do get Incubator into Vanguard or Spawn Gang if we draw red. I guess I'll try that. It is, so 2 forests is also not good. It makes it hard to cast our commander. But neither hand was very good. I honestly think these Spawn Gang Commander and Titan's Vanguard are some of the weirder cards in the deck. This is definitely harder to cast, and this, I'm not sure if it's as powerful as it needs to be for an Eldrazi deck. And then you look at the other side of the hand and you've got Ulalek and Kozilek, which there's a good chance you'll never cast. It's this deck is ambitious, I would say. Very ambitious. Okay, right. White of the Reliquary is a good sacrifice card that ramps you. It'd be really nice to have a way to kill that. Let's go with Eldrazi. Incubator, good card in general, but I don't think even reduces any of the cost of Ulalek. So weirdly unsynergistic with our commander as well. And you see just this divide between like these mid-range Eldrazi's a commander that's hard to cast, and then big giant Eldrazi. You're really just hoping your opponent can't do anything to you while you make all this come together. I wonder which lane though we should pick. If we're going to focus the deck, what is the lane you pick for Ulalek? Hedron Archive is a good top deck. Turns on a lot more opportunity. So now we might just ramp right into Ulamog, right into Kozilek, and then you're a very powerful deck. Our opponent slams Oracle. They hit land off Oracle of Moldiah. They have Cavalier of Thorns coming up. They haven't been, our opponent hasn't been that fast, but oh my gosh, we're gonna miss land right at the finish line here. If we play our commander, the opponent will probably kill it. If we play a Thought-Knot Seer, we can also play a Vanguard. So we go like this. Whenever you cast this spell and whenever this creature attacks, put a counter on each colorless you control. Should have done it in the opposite order. I read it wrong. I thought it got a counter from each colorless spell you cast. So I could have had a 5/5 Thought-Knot Seer here. We also see Victimize. We are exiling, by the way. Sun Titan, Witherbloom Command. I think we take Ravenous Chupacabra. If we could play the Spawn Gang Commander there, we get ourselves set up for an Eldrazi next turn, but the double red is brutal. Yep, opponent slams the Cavalier, and they do have a nice combo here where they can sack Cavalier, search for a land, and then put something on top, but I don't think it resolves that way. I think they have to resolve Cavalier first. They have Solitude Primeval Titan in the graveyard. There's a 7/7 coming at me. A 7/7? Gotta die. Too powerful. I mean, we're the ones on the back foot against their 2-drop. Their 2-drop is bigger than our 4 and 5. That's pretty bad. Underground Mortuary Surveil. I was wondering if they had the Kami Garden. There's a card that comes in and it makes an 0/1 plant. That would have actually would that have gotten them there? Oh, it's each creature in the graveyard. No, it wouldn't have. They were trying to surveil a creature. That's smooth. They surveilled a creature to do it. Oh my god, this hand is killing me. I'm dying. My mental game is falling apart, but at least I get to play Spawn Gang now. We're trying to keep it together, guys. We're trying to get there. Chromatic Lantern somehow being an amazing draw. In a 5-color deck, who would have thought? Uh-huh. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I mean, I think we block there. When the way this deck often wins is just by draining you into the ground. They usually have enough drain effects to get you. Victimize is going to be nasty. Gitrog and Primeval Titan. Let the triggers commence. Well, a couple of fetch lands. Not that bad. Oh, look, another fetch land. It's pretty good. Pretty good stuff. I don't think I have anything to even interact with their graveyard. I want to kill a spawn. When this enters, it makes one, right? So I can have this on the board, but then I also can't manifest it for Cozy. I think I need to do this. Bang, bang. At least get those off the field. Rawr, Ulalek. I played an Eldrazi today. Oh boy. They get to do it all again. They just played that to play a land? I think they're a lands deck. I mean, maybe we kill them with fetch lands. That's my line. Okay, here comes the mutation. Let's see what they get back. Total power 10 or less. And remember, a lot of things like Fiend Artisan have star power, and that counts as 0. Pretty good. Solitude Grizzlebrand. What a nice combo. They have 18 life. Grizzlebrand is draw 7 and then draw 7 more. I think I'd rather die than play this out. Oh my god. This deck is, it's a pile. It's time to choose a direction. So when editing this deck and changing it, the first thing I wanted to do was choose which direction is going to be the most potent and powerful for the Brawl format. And we're going in the ramp direction. We're cutting a lot of the mid-range Eldrazi value cards that were probably all-stars in limited for Modern Horizons 3, but it does give you 2 plans, the Eldrazi mid copy into mega value plan and the way over the top ramp plan. And I think the ramp plan is what will do us the most good in this format. So out is Emrakul's Messenger, the Propagator Drone, the Idol of the False Gods, It That Heralds the End, Waterscape Battle Mage, Eldrazi Linebreaker. Out is Eldrazi Repurposer, Thief of Existence, Withering Chrysalis, Thought Not Seer, Unfathomable Truth, Spawn Gang Commander, Territory Color, Titan's Vanguard, and Eldrazi Ravager. And you might be saying CGB, but a lot of those make Scions and Spawns. Aren't those ramp? Isn't Spawn Gang Commander ramp? Isn't Unfathomable Truths ramp? Isn't It That Heralds the End ramp? It's not reliable ramp. It's either one-time ramp because you have to sacrifice the spawns, or worse, it is creature ramp that dies to removal. So we wanted to really up the amount of ramp that gives us lands, and you're going to see that in the cards that we add, that we're really trying to increase the lands, the land ramp. First of all, some lands we're adding to the mana base, and that is why the numbers aren't going to add up clean, is because I cut some of the basic lands. Spawning Bed and Urza's Cave are 2 lands that we're going to add to the mana base. They're just uncommons, and they work really well in this deck. So you can make Scion tokens with the bed, or you can use Urza's Cave to go get the beloved Ugin's Labyrinth, or maybe Cavern of Souls. So those go into the deck. Then we have Birds of Paradise, Delighted Halfling. Yes, they're creature ramp, but they're only 1 mana, so you get way ahead because of them. Cyclonic Rift. We're already ramping to 7 mana anyway, and we want to stall. That's why we remove things that just might remove one thing, like Thief of Existence, and we add Cyclonic Rift to remove everything. Mana Drain. There's no better way to make colorless mana. This is probably the best card in the format, and if you can cast it, even though this will be difficult to cast for this deck, I think you make the exceptions. You make the sacrifices to add Mana Drain. Notice I didn't add any other counter spells to the deck. I'm not trying to turn this into a counter fest, but my god, if you run one, especially in a deck that needs big colorless mana, it's gotta be Mana Drain. Into the North, This required me to swap my basic lands for snow lands. You should have access to those. It shouldn't cost you anything extra, but do remember if you craft into the north and use it, that you need to add snow lands to your deck and cut the basic lands. Rampant Growth, Ghostfire Slice. This is often 1 mana for 4 damage to any target because you hit a lot of multicolored commanders with it, so it makes the cut. Kozilek's Return. I can't believe this wasn't in the deck. Whenever you cast an Eldrazi spell with mana value 7 or greater, you exile this to deal 5 damage to each creature, putting a little board wipe flare on your big Eldrazi. Cultivate gets you your basics. Map the Frontier. This searches your library for lands or desert cards. There is a desert. It's Arid Archway, so it's one of the important deserts because this gives you another land drop the next turn by bouncing a land back to your hand and being something that taps for 2 colorless on its own, making Map the Frontier the 4 mana ramp card of choice. But there are others, and these can be copied because of Ulalek. We have Scampering Surveyor, which can go and get you Urza's Cave, which can go and get you Ugin's Labyrinth or other important lands. We have Solemn Simulacrum. Okay, more ways to get lands and value. Then we have, replacing Unfathomable Truths specifically, Make Your Own Luck. This uncommon from Outlaws lets us draw 3 cards, but then exile a non-land card from among them. Let's say an Eldrazi, and it becomes plotted, all right? The rest go to your hand. So, like, if you hit an Eldrazi off this thing, you get to plot it for free, which means cast it for free the next turn, which might line up perfectly for copying it in a huge turn with Ulalek. Make Your Own Luck might be the best single addition to the deck. Sire of 7 Deaths will cost you a mythic wild card, but it's an amazing Eldrazi that can take over a game on its own. And Void Winnower is similar. It will cost you a mythic, but now your opponents can't cast many of the spells in their deck. So that's the idea. We're adding and digging into the ramp package to make sure we get there and lands, and that we have big powerful things to do when we arrive. I hope that this will really improve how the deck functions, but don't take my word for it. We're just gonna dive in and play some games. So let's do it. And as always, my friends, you're cool. Captain Eberhardt. This is an alchemy commander that is actually really annoying. It says cards we draw this turn cost 1 more to cast, and their spells that they draw that turn cost 1 less. It's a tax commander, and it's usually very aggressive. Sometimes it's Voltron-y because it has double strike, so they'll try to put a bunch of enchantments and enhancements on it to kill us fast. This is a good hand. It has the Ugin's Binding. It has the ramp. Even if we get Eberhardt tax, we're not relying on the top of our deck to ramp way up. We do need to draw a big Eldrazi, though. Oh my gosh, they've already got 2 spells on turn 1. Springleaf Drum, Mishra's Bauble. We need green. Green, red, and blue, ideally. We have red in the snow-covered mountains, so let's just get a tapped breeding pool here. While the opponent wanted game actions, they're saving the Bauble. I wonder what for. Okay, that's a Signet. They still can't play their commander that way. What the heck are they doing? Is this like a Storm commander where all of these reduce cost 0? I wonder, how would they keep the cards coming? Good move sacking the Bauble on my turn, which means they'll draw it in their turn. But don't you want your commander out first? I'm so confused. Ghostfire Slice is significantly worse in this matchup because this is not a multicolored card. All right, we should play non-basic lands first because they might run Thalia or some other card that makes them enter tapped in the future. So we'll go with Eldrazi in the Courtyard, Solar Transformer. Basilisk Collar on a double striking creature. We get that. Smothering Tithe. Whenever I draw a card, they make a treasure. I think making them play that again is a pretty good move. Kind of regret it. It is a 4-mana card. But now they can go Eberhardt into Smothering Tithe. Oh my goodness. Yeah, their start has been insane. I think I have to try to disrupt them. So I'm gonna pay 2. This can also be a land, but we need to Ghostfire Slice here. I should have manually tapped so I didn't have to use an energy, but it probably won't matter. We're not an energy deck. So coming up here, I think I'm going to let them have the treasures. I'm not sure what happens with this deck, but they're down to 2 cards. Mana probably won't be their problem going forward. You see how the Elvish Mystic costs us more. I was really hoping for an untapped land there. Would have loved to drop the Hedron, but this will do. Ramp it up. We want to cast this Drowner. That I think I'm certain of. Casting this Drowner will trigger the Ugin's Binding, which will return each non-land permanent to their hand. So let's hold it. And now let's see what is their deck. They get that cost reduction on cards they just drew. If they have a way to draw a bunch of cards and they have a bunch of these like super cheap spells, they might have a Storm turn, but it's mono white. Wow. Jeez, that's brutal. Like they had to have that to destroy our archive. It's so brutal. Okay. Untapped land. Ugh. Brutal. Jeez. How many times can I say brutal? I guess I'll go for this archive and hope this doesn't get blown up. How many times can they have the right card? Not that many, right? Not this many times. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Ooh. All right. Well, we don't have 11. We have 9. So what if I play my commander? I bet they have removal. That's what I'm betting on. And this makes 2 spawns, which could cast Kozilek next turn. Binding trigger. Send it all away, please. I do not like it. All right, good. Raw. All right, Malevolently Rumble. Ugin's Labyrinth. Good card, but not necessary. Let's just play out our hand here. The opponent might wrath the board, although, like at this point, I'm not sure what's going on with their deck. We are well set up to play Kozilek the Great Distortion. And you saw the power of the binding. You also see the power of all this ramp. Just making sure we have enough mana to do these big plays. Lost JT. I mean, they'll probably play the Basilisk Collar. That makes their commander somewhat unblockable. But I want to try to get Ulalek into Kozilek. That's what I want. They're at 33. Oh, the Unsealing. Ooh, whenever you cast a creature spell with 4, 5, great. Yes, 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 yes. And draw 3 cards. Yes. While the Smothering Tithe is not on the field. Let's go. I even paid 1 more for that. Okay. This is an option, but I want this option. Trigger. I'm greedy, man. I want it all. So attacking is useless, but next turn could be so explosive. Stay tuned. Hold on to your butts. Unfortunately, the stupid captain. Am I right? Okay. That's interesting, right? That we get 3 life and we can just cast this again and trigger binding again. This captain is really gonna mess with us, though. That is double strike, death touch, lifelink. I don't think we can let it hit us. It'd be a disaster. But they're holding it back because they're scared of the Drowner. Okay. It's a land. Drop this. Can I also Kozilek here? And if I do, can I copy it? 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I can't copy it. I want to copy it very badly. Wait a minute. If I resolve this first... No, like I have to stack the triggers, right? Okay, hold on. I think I can do this. Let's see. We're gonna learn. I think that what happens is these trigger at the same time, and I can order the one that makes the mana first. Wait a minute. I do still have 2 spawns. I'm just bad at math. That's great. I guess we want to resolve this first then. Oh, come on. It was there. It was there. Yeah, Kozilek's not 12. It's a 12/12 creature. It costs 10. That's where I got tripped up. I thought this cost 12. 12 was the number in my head, and the number in my head was 12. Oopsie daisy. So what's going to happen there? We're going to copy the abilities on the stack, right? So we draw 20... We draw an insane number of cards that we probably can't cast because of the captain. And we also get 2 triggers. We double the triggers on the Kozilek ceiling. So we get 4 more spawns. We draw 6 more cards. Oh god, we draw like 20 cards. I love Magic. Clement the Worrywart. This is a frog that bounces cards. Bounce for value. We have Null Elemental Blast, so I think we keep it. We also have Llanowar Elves. We can cast it. Sure. Null Elemental Blast can hit the commander. You can either counter it on the way in or destroy it. Our mid-game is sus, but if we draw a Cultivate or some effect like it, we are doing the job. Our opponent is also good at ramp. And they're good at command tower. So we need colorless mana available for the Null Elemental Blast. We need to draw something other than land. Oh, Cobra. Yuck. It's so explosive. Since they have the fetch lands on Arena, and since you could put so many of them in so many decks, Lotus Cobra just becomes an absurd 2-mana play. Like, you could run it in this deck if you up the fetch lands. It would still be fine as it is. You can run it in almost any green deck now, and if you get a good fetch land draw, you just explode. Is that bounce spell for my Llanowar Elves? When Baron enters, return a thing to owner's hand. Okay, well, you did it. I mean, they sure are dropping their hand. We draw World Breaker. Big card. We're just putzing along. We got plans. We got big Ulalek plans for next turn. And I think they're going to go for their commander. So what does this do? Vigilance. When it or another creature enters, return 1 target creature with lesser mana value. Yeah, just go away. Doesn't matter what your commander says. In a perfect world, they don't have a land next turn and can't recast. Frogs you control tap for green or blue. Well, you can only use it for creatures. Where's your frogs? Huh? I don't see your frogs. They're scared to attack with the Cobra. Interesting. Probably means they have more land, doesn't it? All right, there's no white mana here. Let's get the Temple Garden. They might have a counter spell for my commander, but we just don't have anything else to do. Come on. It's just a Will 2/5. This looks bad. Honestly, their hand is like Grazer into Cobra, never miss a land drop, is incredibly explosive. I don't think things are as bad as it looks, but our hand just is very normal by comparison. So we just got to survive the storm and hope that they don't have like a really big finisher. They have Nylea, cost reduction, right? Yeah, it's fine. It's not bad. It's not the end of the world. Oh God, just need some. All right, next turn. Next turn we start breaking worlds and such. It's not like we'll have mana to copy anything, but we're on the defensive for sure. We're just not doing enough. Emrakul World Anew is a tough one to cast. What's really bad is like this is 10 mana, this is 12 mana. These are basically not in our hand. Not until we draw like a Dreamscape Hedron, Map the Frontier. All right, they've got some ramp. Sure. They got this frog. Pretty good. Now they got 5/6 indestructible, but this exiles. And bouncing, it's not good for them. So I still think we can take over the board with the World Breaker. Wanting bed's pretty good. I like keeping it a secret. It can ramp us up to Ulalek. All right, Nylea gone. Copy it, wish I could. What? Counter target spell. Okay, okay, okay. That's not the end of the world. It's in the graveyard. We can sack lands to get it back if we want to. Wait, can they bounce the Nylea? No, they can't. It has to be lesser something, I remember. That's a heck of a card. Hope Ender Codal. Yeah, okay. What? What? Oh, the frustration when the game just doesn't go your way. Like they played out their whole hand. I wonder what complaints they have about their Magic experience. Jan Jansen Chaos Crafter. This is artifact manipulation in Mardu, basically. We just want to try to do our thing. So, on our turn, nothing into Signet Birds, into maybe Explore. And we do have big plays. I'll keep it. I'll give that a try. I hate not being able to bird on turn 1, but who knows? There's a lot we can draw here. Oh, oh, that's so nasty. Oh, turn 1 Esper Sentinel. What a card. Every white deck can play it if you want to. Every single one. It's that good. Path of Annihilation's nice, though. It ramps up pretty fast. Cold Steel Heart. Okay, card draw and ramp, baby. This is Brawl. There's no reason to hold back. It is a land. All right. Just wish I didn't have to give them a card to do it. But we are the ramp deck, so we're handing out cards. But these now have tap for 1 mana of any color. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Play Ulalek. Or play Echoes of Eternity. If the triggered ability of a colorless spell or colorless permanent triggers, it triggers an additional time. When you cast a colorless spell, copy it. Doesn't work that well with the legendaries, but works really well with a few of the non-legendary cards in the deck. And honestly, it's a good dream. I think that you can cut Echoes of Eternity. I really do. But it's a good dream. Players do love these types of spells. Acacia's welcome. Jan Jansen can make Thopters, right? Sack an non-creature artifact for 2/1/1 constructs. Okay, now you're holding back? I'll try to finish me. Okay, according to this, I can cozy. Probably want to Ulalek first. You can also explore and pay the 1. Might as well. They might have Mana Tithe, but you can still sack these, right? You can tap them for a color and then sack them. That's how that works. Okay, it's not a land, but it is make your own luck. I think we play that. I think we play that card. We do not want to sack these by accident. One reason that we play these now is because we already paid our Esper Sentinel tax for turn. Could have a mana tithe, but if they do, I can sack this to pay. Oh no. I decline. All right, that wasn't the best make your own luck, but I can play this land and cast this halfling. It won't mana tithe me next turn. I don't even think they have it, to be honest. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So that's Echoes and Ulalek, which is an amazing setup for the future. Could copy Echoes of Eternity? That would be crazy. All right. Our opponent's doing value things. Yoshin frontliner, Jan Jensen. They can sack this, make 1/1s, draw cards. Like they're doing toys. They're playing with toys. But will they be able to keep up with what we do? Ulalek. Scampering Surveyor. I am a little low on the colorless sources for copying, aren't I? Yes, I am. That's why this getting a land is pretty big. Swords the Ulalek. Okay. Hey, we took one for the team and we've got a lot of mana. So the cave is Urza's cave. Like, we're not under pressure unless they're going to combo off. They're getting a ton of value. But if they don't leverage that into a combo, do we really care? We have a lot of life gain from the path. All right, that's a lot of tokens. We'll see if they can leverage this into a win. This is certainly the kind of tinker deck that they will, that many people, I'm sure, enjoy. The question is going to be, does all this turn into something or nothing? I mean, that's a lot of treasures. I'm curious if they can go infinite somehow. You need a way to untap this, and you don't have Intruder Alarm in these colors. Like, what can somehow untap this or sack and return it to the battlefield a lot? That's a Goldspan Dragon. That's a lot of mana. That is a ton of mana. Sure. More value. Yeah, what they need is some kind of a sacrifice loop to, or clone loop to make Jan keep dying and coming back, or keep making copies of him somehow. That would do the job. All right, do I have another turn here to set up? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, possibly 14, 15. This is 7. 13, okay. I'm gonna try to cast Echoes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. No, you get a card. I mean, they have infinite card draw anyway. Triggers. Which one do I keep? Keep the original. Back up to... So this is when you cast 7 or greater. So when I cast the Broken Reality, the question is going to be now, like, can they deal with Ulalek and the Path of Annihilation, or do I get to go really hard here with Kozilek? Oh, and the Echoes. This is an Eldrazi. It taps for 1 mana because of Path of Annihilation. I was wondering how I came up short. Like, I was sure I counted the mana right that time, and I came up with 1 more mana. It's because this taps for mana. I never knew that. I did not know that's how that worked. That is amazing. Eldrazi creatures have tap for 1 mana of any color. Combo. Actual combo. Wishclaw. No wonder they had to think. What do you get? Do you have enough mana for Ruinous Ultimatum? I think you do. You just have to attack with the dragon, and you can blow up my whole board if it's in your deck. That'll be pretty sick. Don't know if I can recover, but let's see what happens. Oh, you can sack it in response? That's busted. All right, new plan. Rope them out. They can attack with Goldspan, and then they have the mana for sure. I love the Wishclaw attack. All Jan Jansen players need Wishclaw. They really might rope their turn out. They're on their last one. Is that game? Whenever an artifact dies, lose 4? Should have made the treasures. I don't think that's game, right? They have 1 Mondrak and they're going to make 1 treasure. They can sack 3 things. I have to block. I'm a 4/4 though. I can also just block with this 3/2. Okay, that makes 2 treasures. Maybe that is enough. Maybe they do have it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 4 mana. Attack 2 other artifacts. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Yeah, they've got it. If they know. They know they've got it. They've got the sack outlet in Mondrak. They've got the mana to use it. Okay, they pass. Maybe they don't know. That's a glaring Flesh Raker. What does this do for me? Do I have the mana to cast the Kozilek after this? Hold on, I've got to think. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Leaves 4 extra mana. Okay. Okay. I should be able to do it. Hold on, I gotta do a few things at a time though. Part of it is this colorless mana, right? This is a problem. Wait, I can keep going. All right, tap for blue. Tap for blue. As long as I have the spawns. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Oh yeah, this taps for 1 mana too. Nice. All right, let's go. What could go wrong? I mean, they can kill me on the stack, so we are relying on them not knowing what's happening. They have a sack outlet in Mondrak, but I don't know if they know that. They might just be toying with me. There's one way to find out. Come on, Flesh Rakers! Machine gun them down! That's a win! That's a win. Now let me double check. Let's just have a look-see. 1 and Phyrexian, sack 2 other artifacts, put an indestructible counter on it. It does cost 1 mana, but there's the treasures that sack for 2. So this is 5 mana, and they had the life total to do it. So they could have sacked. This is a sack. This is a sack. Whenever an artifact you control is put into a graveyard from the battlefield, this does include tokens. They do go to the graveyard. So sack, that's I lose 4, I lose 4. Activate Mondrak just once. Sack, I lose 4, I lose 4. They had lethal on board and missed it. And, well, I got to show you how Glaring Fleshraker works with Ulalek.